What's going on, everyone? Tallen back here, and today we are going to be translating all of the new sparking units that are coming to Dragon Ball Legends. Now, quick thing to say real quick is that this does not mean that JP is getting this before everyone else in the world or anything like that. Japan loves to just show things off before they come out in their magazines. They do it all the time. They did it with Fighters, and yet Fighters came out everywhere else before Japan. So it's just because this is just the way Japan is, and V-Jump is mainly showing off a lot of Dragon Ball stuff. They have like the Dragon Ball new Dragon Ball movie coming out, Dokkan, and all that other stuff. This is what's here for Legends, essentially. So this is going to be coming out. It looks to be for July. It says Nisen Ju Hachinen Nanagatsu. So somewhere in July, basically, this year, we are going to get all of these new sparking units. I'm assuming in one banner, but again, not 100% sure. So yeah. But anyway, so I wanted to go over the translations that I was able to go through, and go ahead and check out the subreddit for Legends itself. I help my friend Mayo over there with some of the translations and everything. They don't have like an official translator or anything like that, like the Dokkan subreddit and all that. So I was like, okay, well, you know, a lot of the kanji is somewhat similar to Dokkan. I can use that to help learn my kanji more and more. And hey, you know, as much as, you know, I may not be someone who is the biggest fan of Legends or anything like that, but I do like playing it every now and then. You know, I think if they could address some of my major concerns personally, then I would definitely play it a little bit more. And again, I'm more of the PvE type when it comes to a simple mobile game like this. PvP, I'm going to have matches where I do great and other matches where it's just like, okay, whatever, I'm getting really triggered about this. Call it skill, call it whatever you want. You know, just my personal opinion. I'm not saying that because of my lack of skill sometimes when facing others that this game is trash and garbage and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that by any means. But anyway, so I want to go in here and I want to translate everything that I possibly can for Ginyu, Frieza, the Kid Gohan, and I believe, oh, there's a TN down here, which I haven't translated actually, but we'll translate it right here and there. So anyways, let's go into it. So first off, we're going to go into here. Now, I don't know every little itty bitty detail about Legends. I haven't really bothered to kind of go through every single little thing. You know, I will over time, but I'm just going to give general translations about everything in terms of teams and best ways to use these guys and everything like that. That's something I definitely still have to learn a little bit. All that stuff is on the subreddit page. So again, I'll leave a link in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. Mayo's a great guy. So props off to you, man, for keeping that page going well. So anyway, so let's look at Ginyu here. So he's one of the next sparking units, essentially. In terms of his type, where is the type? In fact, Frieza, I don't see a type either. Am I missing where the type is? Or maybe it's because the page is turned, I can't really see it. Maybe that's why. Okay, anyway, if you guys are watching this a couple days later and we have fresh, high-definition pages of these guys, then whatever their type is, their type is. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You play the type against the advantage or disadvantage the way you want to, and you're basically good to go. So, anyway, so Ginyu right here, his super attack, essentially, is Milky Cannon, okay? You can see the kanji right, or the katakana right here. Cho Hisatsu Waza, or sorry, just Hisatsu Waza, basically. Cho would be like super ultra attack, but Hisatsu Waza, Milky Cannon, tap it whenever you get the card, essentially, boom, he shoots a big blast at you, and you're going to take major damage, essentially. Now, his main ability is that he will call in a card, it looks like, essentially, okay? So if it looks like you get the card of Guildo, it looks like, if I'm reading that correctly. This little part right here about the kanji, I cannot read because it's turned and I can't really see it. Again, it doesn't really matter though, because essentially what you do is you use his main ability. So the way I'm going to translate Legends content, essentially from V-Jump at least, is that it's going to be two things. It's going to tell us tell us their main ability and what it does, and then it's going to say this little point right here. Unfortunately, it is a little blurry because of the quality of the picture right now, but if you can see it, this is point, point, and point, and essentially what it means is that's what it tells you the ability card will do when you activate it or use it, okay? So anyway, so let's go back in here. So anyway, so you activate his main ability, and you get a Guildo card. When you activate said card, though, he does his body change, okay? Now, his body change is basically what it does in the show, right? It allows him to change the bodies with the opponent, and generally that meant changing health, changing, you know, stats and all that fun stuff. But basically, and I had to actually translate this myself because I didn't know exactly what it meant if I actually had it here. I thought I had it, but apparently I did not. Okay. Well, I don't remember the exact kanji and how to say it because the more I try to zoom in here, it's not really there. I'll be right back, actually. Okay, so I finally figured out what the kanji was, because I couldn't, again, see the furigana above it, which is essentially hiragana above the kanji. But basically what it is it is going to be shuketsu. Shuketsu means bleed out, essentially, to basically cause major bleeding damage, essentially. So from what it seems, essentially, is that he does his body change. He gets into the body, he does the bleed out, essentially, and then he returns back to being Ginyu. So it's all in one big animation, essentially. Body change, bleed out, goes back to being Ginyu, and your opponent loses health. Now, what it does not tell you is that, you know, how much damage it does or anything like that. We don't know if it's best used against someone who's at full health, less health, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to say at this point. But I would assume that I don't know. The one thing I don't know is if it will automatically KO you if you're low enough, or if it means it'll leave you at like 1 health potentially, and then that's what it is. So I don't know, kind of interesting. From what I was understanding though, when I was watching like D-Freeze video and on this and everything like that, in terms of how this will work as teams, because again, like I said before, in terms of team mechanics, I'm not the best at understanding that just yet. But from what I can understand is that Ginyu here might be the quote-unquote worst of the bunch in terms of these new sparking characters come out, until we get more Ginyu Force cards that are not hero cards, right? The rare cards of the game, essentially. Once we get more Ginyu Force units, then he's probably going to be a force to reckon with, I would imagine and assume, essentially. Until then, we really don't know for that part right there. So anyway, so Ginyu's main ability, though, it allows him to then use the card that comes into the play, and then you can use a body swap and do some major damage, essentially, okay? So that's pretty cool right there. Next, we're going to go into Sparking Frieza. I like that he has, it looks like he has the 3 forms in the background right here, and then his 4th form right here doing the whole finger beam. So anyway, so Frieza's here, and then basically his, Hisatsuwaza, his super attack is Death Ball, which, you know, if you couldn't really call that from Frieza, then I guess you haven't been watching Dragon Ball very long. But anyway, so his points, so his little ability card that he can use, or sorry, his main ability that he can use is a telekinesis, essentially, and what he does is he freezes you. Now, if you have the Spirit Bomb Goku from the shop and everything, you know that when Spirit Bomb Goku uses his super attack and he hits you, it kind of stuns you for a little bit, or it stuns the opponent for a little bit, right? Frieza is kind of the flip-flop of that, right? You use his main ability slash card slash whatever you want to call it, and telekinesis is the name of it, and he will freeze the opponent. And then what you can do is then go into your super move or something else and destroy them, basically. And that's what it shows you right here. Telekinesis, super attack, boom, major damage, essentially, okay? So Frieza, that's pretty cool right there, actually. Now, they do, obviously, I wouldn't say nerf him, but they balance him, essentially, if I guess we want to use those basic words. They do balance him by obviously making it attached to his main ability slash point that you'd have to use, so you're not going to be able to simply spam it, essentially, and just telekinesis, you know, 3 guys that you're fighting against in PvP, and then boom, you death ball them to death, or, you know, combo into them a bunch, and then they're dead, basically. So that's not going to happen right there, so that's basically how they're going to balance him, but that's essentially what Frieza does. Gohan, we come down here. Gohan, from what my friend Mayo was telling me, is that he's essentially like the Vegeta right now. Vegeta has the ability to raise the attack of Ki Blast attacks, or Ki Blast cards, I guess, or something like that. Gohan here does the opposite, essentially. So it says main ability, tatakao shio de. Okay, so that means it's going to affect strike. So this kanji right here is for the strike cards, essentially. You know, the ones where you go up and you do a basic 4 or 5 hit combo automatically. So it increases that attacking power by 15%, by 50%. Sorry, I almost said 15%. 50%. So it increases those strike cards by 50%, the attack power of those. And then, apparently, after you've done that, after you've used his main ability, so you tap the character icon, you use the main ability, and then it says, after that power-up, Sugu ni, which means right afterwards, you will unleash the Masenko Ha onto your opponents. Now, obviously, his main ability does not power up Ki Blast and everything, but you do basically do a Masenko Ha, which is pretty cool. So, I'm all for that. That's pretty cool. Apparently, when you use his main ability, also, that means that probably a card will come in that will allow you to use said Masenko Ha, not just simply tapping the screen is going to fire one. I could be wrong on that. It doesn't really clarify. That is one thing Legends definitely needs to do, both in Japan and other languages, and especially in English and everything. They are very vague sometimes on what the abilities do or what certain things can do and happen. They need to get a little bit better at that, I'm not going to lie. So hopefully that does change. We'll have to go ahead and see there. So, and then this one over here at Tien, I don't think this is a sparking unit. It doesn't look like it is. But there's going to be a Ten Shihan and Chaozu combo. basically from what it says is that Chaozu no HP が、減ったら、なんだっけ、0億。I don't know what 0億漢字 is. で、攻撃と遅延をパワーアップ。Okay, so, let's see. 自分の HP が多いほど、Okay, so, I don't know a couple of the kanji, but if I had to guess at this, I'm going to say that when your own HP is, it doesn't say lower like it would from Doken or anything like that. Okui hodo. I think that means lower, but it actually might mean higher. I'm not 100% sure because the picture right here in the very corner shows Chaozu about to do his self-destruct like he tries to do on Nappa. So I'm going to assume that basically Tien gets a power-up the closer Chaozu's potentially to death if you're using both of them. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm guessing if you're using both of the extreme units, because there is an extreme Chaozu and an extreme Tien. I'm not 100% sure on that, but interesting nonetheless. So we'll have to see how it works when it comes out, I guess. So otherwise, that's basically it for all the translation, guys. Like I said before, in terms of the teams and everything, I still need to learn a little bit more about that stuff. But I hope you guys at least are getting a little hype for the Sparking units. If Legends is definitely your thing, if you've moved away from Doken, you play both, whatever the case may be. Hopefully these translations kind of give you an idea of what you might potentially want to go for. We'll have to see. But yeah, otherwise that's pretty much that for the translation. So anyway, guys, that's me for the video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as always. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one.